This is 13 ABC Action News at 4 with Tina Williams and Tony Giftis.
It is a massive industry that's only getting bigger. According to the American Gaming Association, last year marked a new record for the commercial gaming industry, reaching $53 billion in revenue. But gambling can have a high reward and also a high risk. Gambling is our big story today. Gambling, big business right here in Ohio. There are 11 casinos across the state, including Hollywood Casino in Toledo. Last year, the American Gaming Association estimates revenue topped $2.3 billion. The state collected more than $1 billion in tax revenue. Let's take a closer look. Here in Ohio, the casino revenue is taxed at 33%. The proceeds then distributed to different places across the state. Here's a breakdown of that. 51% goes to all of Ohio's 88 counties based on population. 34% goes to public schools, 5% to the cities that actually have a casino, 3% to the Ohio Casino Control Commission, and 3% to the Racing Commission. Now, the leftover 2% goes to state law enforcement training funds, and 2% goes to the state's Problem Gambling and Addictions Fund. And it's not just Ohio. Across the entire country, gambling brings in big money. As you can see here, a majority of the states in the entire country allow some form of gambling, whether that's a commercial casino or those on reservations. Now, one thing that is still different between Ohio and Michigan is sports gambling. Let's take a closer look at that. In Michigan, it's legal to play sports bets, but things are still in the works for Ohio. In December, Governor DeWine signed House Bill 29 into law. About 2/3 of the country does allow sports betting, and Ohio will soon be one of 33 states that has that form of gambling as well. So you might be wondering, what's the timeline here? Under this new law, people will be allowed to bet on pro, college, and esports by January 1st of next year. The Ohio Casino Control Commission released its first set of proposed sports betting rules back in late January. Then there's the entire regulatory process, which could take us through mid-July. And finally, processing those applications for those who actually want a license. And as the popularity of sports betting grows, so does the number of scams. Plenty of people are simply trying to take your cash, offering easy websites or apps to bet. Sometimes you might see a pop-up ad on your Facebook feed or on a web page. You might even receive a text message soliciting, encouraging you to use a certain service to get on the sports books. But the Better Business Bureau is sending out a warning. Buyer beware. Make sure you research any site where you're sending money and make sure it's legitimate. And if you win, make sure you actually get your cash.
Sports betting is huge. It's getting to be a multi-billion dollar industry. And as always, you have to be very careful who you deal with, because we've already seen phony websites come out of nowhere, and people have been ripped off. They've lost a lot of money trying to place bets with these websites.
Epstein recommends using well-known betting sites and apps and steering clear of anything where you're being sought out via text. You can also check out betting site ratings on the Better Business Bureau's website. Well, of course, gambling can also become an addiction, and this is Problem Gambling Awareness Month. 13 ABC's Lisa Guyton joins us live with the details that could help you or someone you know.
Tina, according to the Problem Gambling Network of Ohio, 1 in 10 people in the Buckeye State will experience problems with gambling. And based on survey data, that number jumps to 1 in 4 when it comes to sports betting. But there are a number of organizations working to change those numbers. Data from recent years shows that about 77,000 Ohioans were identified as problem gamblers or at risk of becoming one. Problem gambling prevention and treatment specialists from the Toledo area toured Hollywood Casino Toledo today. Specialists from all over the state are doing the same kind of thing at Ohio's 10 other casinos and racinos. The goal is to make sure people know about the problem gambling resources that are available and easily accessible.
There is individual and group therapy available. We also, there are peer support programs like Gamblers Anonymous, and Smart Recovery that are also available for individuals who may be experiencing a problem.
Brown says gambling becomes a problem when it interferes with your daily life. He says it can affect both physical and mental health. Some signs to watch for include spending more time or money gambling. There can also be changes in personality as well as sleeping and eating patterns. Missing money from bank accounts or your home can also be signs of a problem.
Okay, so Lisa, you mentioned numbers when it comes to sports betting. So what do the experts expect when that comes online next year?
Well, Tina, as I said, 1 in 4 will experience problems with gambling when it comes to sports betting. And Brown expects the number of people in need of help to increase when sports betting comes online here in Ohio next year. He adds that sports betting problems are most likely to impact men between the ages of 18 and 44. But the good news is that there is a lot of help available here in Ohio.
All right, some great information. Thanks, Lisa. Well, Ohio is for Responsible Gaming, also known as ORG, has set out to educate the public about these gambling addictions we just heard about and offer some resources to people in need. It offers interactive tools to learn about warning signs of problem gambling or determine if you might have a risk. Just visit beforeyoubet.org. And even closer to home, the Zeph Center in Toledo helps people struggling with gambling addiction. Steve Capella, the manager of the Gambling Treatment and Prevention at the nonprofit, says the state estimates Lucas County has 3,700 problem gamblers. Now, if you need assistance, you can call the Zeph Center at 419-841-7701 or simply visit the website for more information. And if you need help right now, there is a problem gambling hotline. It's 1-800-589-9966. You can also visit gamblinghelpohio.org.